Welcome to the Piston Fanatic. I am your host, Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been the varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in northern Michigan. Well, Piston fans, if there are any of us left, they just lost their 10th game in a row, 108 to 100 to Cleveland, the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. I heard somebody said that was the most games that we've lost in a row since 2015, but I think we lost 11 in a row twice last year, so I'm not sure about that. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to get in and talk a lot more about Jaden Ivey. I mean, how many times has there been a rookie that had a year like he had last year and got benched and played less the next year by a significant amount? So we're going to talk about trading him again, and there's been a lot of speculation. The Chicago Bulls trading Zach LaVine, and we would trade a whole bunch of stuff, including Jaden Ivey, for him. We're going to talk about that. Talk about turnovers, which has been a major problem with the team all year, and about Monty finally said he needs to change up the lineup and make different combinations to give Cade a chance to score. And the answer was to insert Kevin Knox into the starting lineup. And Kevin Knox could have been picked up by all 30 teams in the NBA. He was free to be picked up until we just recently picked him up, and he's done fine. So, but it is interesting that the player that we're decide that we're going to be our answer to making our team better was a guy that nobody else in the league wanted. But anyway, let's get started with a couple things. Like I said, Monty's recognizing now after all these losses and Cade struggles that he needs to put better spacing on the floor for Cade, and he has tried to do that. He actually tried to do it a little bit the last game. There were times tonight where he had a bunch of shooters on the floor with him, and Cade did better at the beginning. Cade started out interesting enough, though, in the first quarter, Cade passed up a whole bunch of open shots, more than I've ever seen him in any game since, including his rookie year. I never seen him pass up this many open shots, and I think it has been in his head. I think that it's affected him the way teams have been playing him, but he was more open tonight. He shot real well at first. I do not believe that he made a shot in the fourth quarter. I think he may have been like 0 for 4, so that really, he had shot really well up until that point. He had 4 turnovers in the first half and 0 in the second half, so I guess that's a little silver lining, but I did want to talk about the turnover thing because that's a big thing, and we obviously that has been, led to our demise in many games, close games. But I just want to say Cade is certainly guilty, and Cade's averaging a lot of assists. And I just also want to point out, like Luka, for example, all the games in his career, all the seasons, I don't know, he's played like this is at least his 5th year, I think, and he's averaged like 4.5 turnovers every year, and he has the similar usage to what Cade has this year, which is too many, but it is something that happens with a person that averages that many. But I just, Stu averages 2.2 turnovers a game, and his turnover percent is high, and his usage is not that high compared to, his usage rate is 17%, and Cade's is 30%, and it's not just Stu's fault. It's Duran is averaging 2.8 turnovers a game, and his turnover percentage is 21%. It's higher than Cade's, and his usage rate is 18.2. So, there's other guys. Ausar is averaging 2.2 turnovers, and we're going to talk about it. He had 4 turnovers in the first half. So the point is that we're struggling with turnovers. We average 17.5 turnovers a game. We're 29th. Only the Spurs have more turnovers than us. And again, we don't want to hear the thing about a young team, but the Spurs have like the youngest team, and so that they make turnovers. So that's one thing I want to talk about. Another thing I still want to talk about Jaden Ivey is, like I mentioned at the beginning, Ivey has he started out last year. He had averaged 16 points a game, 5.3 assists, 4 rebounds, and as a rookie. And then here he is on this team, and he played 31 minutes a game. He averaged like 6.5 assists the second half of last year, but he really got better at that. And so now he's playing on this team that's lost 10 in a row, and we have a terrible record, and he's playing 20 minutes a game, and he did play 26 tonight, so that's, I think, the season high. But it doesn't make any sense that, I know they're trying to hold him accountable. And now, so we did get to see tonight. I've been complaining about how that Monty is not consistent with his holding people accountable. And tonight, Ausar had 4 turnovers he had 5 turnovers, I think, in the first half. And he was in there. He didn't take him out. And then in the second half, he starts out and he picks up his 4th foul early in the second half, and he benches him for the rest of the game. That's not what I want. And I want Ivy to play again. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. We need to focus and prioritize our core 4, and that's Duran and Cade and Ivy and Ausar. Those are who needs to lead us into the future. And I hope that Monty doesn't, I still think that there's part of Monty that he doesn't want to admit that he's wrong, or that he doesn't like Ivy the way he plays, something about the way he plays, and because he hasn't been playing him. And no matter, he has played so well this year, and he has turned it over some, he's gotten beaten some, but so has everybody else. Our defense has been bad. Our starters, when we had even Duran and Killian and Ausar and Cade all on the court at the same time, and Stu, their defensive rating wasn't that good. And our offensive rating for teams that had 100 minutes played together, our starting lineup had the worst we were minus 10. So, that's a problem. And Monty said tonight that he's got to, we were always getting beat at the beginning of the game, and he's got to come up with a better starting lineup. And me and a lot of you guys wanted to see Ivy start. And again, there's been a big thing about, and all over, not just Detroit media, but there's the speculation. Everybody on all these podcasts from national media are talking about that, the Bulls need to blow it up. The Bulls are going nowhere. They're in trouble, and they should have blown it up last year. But trading Zach LaVine, and now it's came out in the news that Zach LaVine wants to be traded and is willing to be traded. But listen to this. So Zach LaVine this year in per 36. So you're comparing apples to apples. If Zach LaVine played 36 minutes a game, this would be his averages. If based on what he's done, if Ivy played 36 minutes, this would be his averages. So Zach LaVine, 22 points a game per 36 minutes. Jaden Ivey, 20 points. That's this year. Okay. Zach LaVine, 5 rebounds a game. Jaden Ivey, 5 rebounds a game per 36 minutes. Zach LaVine, 3 assists. Jaden Ivey, 5 assists. Zach LaVine shooting 41% overall. Jaden Ivey, 50%. Zach LaVine from three-point land is shooting 33%. Jaden Ivey, 39%. And it went up a little bit tonight because I think he was like 1 for 2 on threes tonight. So, and then free throw percentage, LaVine does have in there, 87% to 78%. So the difference is Zach LaVine is 28 years old and has a history of knee injuries. And Jaden Ivey is 21 years old, no history of knee injuries. Zach LaVine makes $40 million a year. Jaden Ivey makes $7.6 million a year. Who do you want? And we're a rebuilding team that's, looking towards the future, and we got this young player that can make things happen. He's shooting the three extremely well. He's shooting, I bet it's up to 40% now. And we need that. We need the spacing. He puts pressure on the rim, which is, again, you can't even, what Killian does, and God bless Killian, but he never drives to the rim. He never puts any pressure on the rim. He doesn't draw fouls. And, when you drive, that creates things. And Ivy is finishing better around the rim than any Piston. He's shooting like 70% around the rim. And I had it written down somewhere, but he has been really phenomenal. And yet, we've been playing him 20 minutes a game. So, it's a long season still. We got a lot of games left. We want to see a lot of improvement. Do I want Monty you can take Ausar out of the lineup and sit him for a bunch of minutes, but put him back in tonight. Why would you? What point are you proving? Monty said, "Well, I'm going to talk to him tomorrow, and I'm going to tell him that we still love him. We still think he's a good player." Well, guess what? You get better by playing, and our four core guys need to get better by playing. So I will never change my opinion on that, and that is what this season needs to be about, and hopefully we can get there as an organization. I have no problem with experimenting with lineups. Again, we have nothing to lose because we've lost 10 in a row. We can experiment with starting lineups and bench lineups. I am encouraged that Ivey played 28 minutes tonight, and so that's a career high. So that I think he should play between 28 and 32 minutes, depending on how he's playing. But he needs to play at least 28 minutes every night. And I was worried the first half he turned it over a bunch. And so did Cade. Cade turned it over 4 times. Ivey turned it over 3 times. And Ausar turned it over 5 times, I think, in the first half. And, but then he only played like 8 minutes in the first half. He played like 20 minutes in the second half. So we'll see what goes on. We got to play the Raptors. But got a couple things I want to talk about. That Ausar he hardly got to play. He had 9 points and 9 rebounds at halftime. And he has this jump shot that he can reverse pivot or turn around and fade away a little bit. And he elevates and he hangs in the air, and he's been knocking it down real consistently. Another thing that bugs me about the Pistons, we played the Bulls, and they showed the highlights on NBA TV. They showed like 8 highlights of the Bulls and 1 highlight of Pistons. And it was when Ausar got a loose ball on the floor and whipped it out to Knox for a 3. But NBA Today, they have highlights, and they show the dunks of the week, and they show these great dunks, and none of them was as good as Ausar when he dunked on Capella for the Hawks. That dunk he took off from so far away, he cocked it so high, and he hammered it right in his face, and that didn't even get mentioned. So it's one of the things about being a Piston. It's Detroit against everybody. That's a true thing. We just got to win, though. So that's the bottom line. Is I can cry about it. I can cry about the refs, which I'm going to, but it does come down to you have to establish yourself. I do want to say happy birthday. Tomorrow is Duran's birthday. He's going to turn 20, so no more teenager stats for Duran, but we do miss him immensely. Another mystery that we had. Something I was so excited about. I mentioned it in several podcasts about how excited I was that we got Dan Burke, that we were able to pull off. He's been one of the best defensive gurus in the NBA for over 20 years. All of his defenses have been just phenomenal. He was the defensive guy at Indiana through a whole bunch of coaches. They had a big turnover in coaches, for like 20 years, and they kept him there. And that just tells you what he's about. That he had to be really good. And then he went to Philadelphia, and then we got him when Doc Rivers' staff got fired. The Pistons, Monty got him. And so, but he was there like the first 4 games when our defense was one of the best in the NBA, and then he's disappeared. So is he sick? Did he have a hard time getting along with Monty? Who knows? I just am. It's a mystery. A lot of things that happened in Piston Nation are mysteries to us that we don't hear. How much have we heard about Bojan, his injury? We hurt his calf. We didn't know about it, and then all of a sudden the season's getting ready to start. No, yeah, he's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. We don't hear a word about how it's progressing. We have heard that Monty Morris is on his way back. Livers practiced yesterday, so that's a big plus. If he could come back and give us some minutes too. So we'll see. And whether he's good or not good, we still have nothing to lose. Giving him some opportunity. So let's jump in a little bit to the box score tonight. Ausar, again, he played only 17 minutes, and I'm not for that. I think guys need to be held responsible. You can sit him out for some extra time, but then, he knows he's turned it over, and he's a big boy, but you got to put him back in. He's one of the fun things to watch, on our team. But he was 4 for 8, including at least a couple turnaround jumpers, including on Evan Mobley, and Evan Mobley shot a fadeaway jumper on him, and he shot an air ball with Ausar guarding him. I want to say this though, there's so many things about opportunity and who you play for and what you play for. Evan Mobley is a great player, and he's just exactly what the Pistons need. An Evan Mobley. I wish we had one of him. So, but he's so quiet. He doesn't get any press. He's so good, but he plays on a team with all these guys, that are, especially with Donovan Mitchell, who did not play tonight. But even Karis LeVert comes off their bench and he scores a lot of points. So, but anyway, Mobley was 8 for 12, and so I watch his stat line as often as I can. Whenever it pops up, I try to look at it. 8 for 12, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 18 points, and he just doesn't get fed the constant opportunity. So if he shot 20 times a game like some of those other guys around the league or on his team, he would be much better and have a much higher He's not considered quite the superstar he was. I think he made first team all defense as a third-year player, which was really good last year. But he is, I think, underrated, I guess. Knox played 30 minutes, 5 for 10, good, but only 1 for 4 on threes. And again, he was in the lineup for spacing. And I'm not knocking Knox, but he 1 for 4. But he's, it's just going to be fascinating to see how much he plays going forward. 11 rebounds though, man. He rebounds. He's like 6'7", I think, but he went after the ball hard. 0 assists. I don't like that about players when they have that, but he had 11 points. Stu had 31 minutes and 4 for 11. Had 11 points, but 4 for 11 is not great, and 1 for 4 on threes. And he passed some up. Like I said, Cade passed up some shots, and Stu continually has passed up shots. He was 2 for 2 from the line, 10 rebounds, which is really good, and 3 blocks. So Troy said he had to get a big lineup. He wanted to get these big players, and so that we could play against teams like Cleveland, because they have Jared Allen and Mobley, and they play 2 bigs, and so we needed to have 2 bigs to counter them. But we kicked their butt on the boards. So we had 52 to 38. We out rebounded them, and they had Mobley and Allen and other guys, and we were missing Duran, and we hardly played. Bagley played 16 minutes, and Weissman played 4. So between the two of them, they played 20 minutes. Our 2 7-footers. So not sure about that. But again, Cade had 34 minutes, 9 for 21. He was 9 for whatever, and then he missed his last, like I said, 3 or 4 shots. So that put him down. He missed his last. He was 2 for 7 on threes, which there still misses. What you shoot is what you shoot, but he was 2 for 7, but he finally looked like he was more confident by the end. But here's the thing, and I just keep on saying this. He gets fouled. He drives to the basket, and again, he doesn't fall down. His body doesn't contort. And he's 0 free throws, and he shot 21 shots. He took the ball to the basket hard, and there was contact. Just watch the games. There was contact. But here, again, we had 19 fouls on us, and Cleveland had 9. And it's not called the same, and I don't know what to do with it. It's been a continuous thing, and so I don't know if they need to have Cade practice falling down or what. But he had 8 assists, which is good, and he had those 4 turnovers all in the first half. So, 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio is not bad. Killian, his minutes have gone down. It's ironic. He played so bad at the first 4 or 5 games, shot so horribly, and he still got to play all these minutes. And then he started shooting better, and now his minutes are getting dropped, which I still think that they need to be. And it is, once Bojan comes back and Monty Morris comes back, especially Monty Morris, I think that he is going to even see a further reduction. 22 minutes, 2 for 6, 0 for 2. So that's 0 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 points for Killian. So Bagley, 16 minutes, and how he does it every time. But he scored, 8 points, 3 for 5. Real good percentage, 60%, and 2 for 2 from the line. He got fouled at least a couple other times that they didn't call it. Only 3 rebounds, but only 16 minutes, so that's not bad. Weissman, 4 minutes, 2 rebounds. So, if he played at that rate, he would have had 24 rebounds. If he plays, he had, 2 rebounds for every 4 minutes. So Ivey, 28 minutes, 4 for 6 from the floor. So his numbers have gone up. Whatever I said they were, his percentage went up. 4 for 6, 1 for 2 on threes, 2 for 2 from the line. He just gets to the rim and makes some impressive shots. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, but 6 turnovers, and that's got to change. So 11 points. Burks, this is what hurt us. Burks, we just got to have guys that we can count on, and Burks had done so well at the beginning of the year when we won those 2 games and stuff, but he played 24 minutes, which is about maybe what he should play, and he was 4 for 14 though, and 2 for 9 on threes. So we needed him to knock down a few more shots. Amude Stanley, he played great. He's 17 minutes, 2 for 3 on threes, and 4 for 4 from the line, and 6 rebounds. And in 17 minutes, he had 10 points. So that's impressive. He's out there scrapping and plays hard. He shoots with confidence. He doesn't hesitate. Sasser continues to struggle. I jinxed him again. I said that he couldn't sustain his production because he was out of this world shooting, and now he came back down to earth. He's 15 minutes and 2 for 7 and 0 for 3 on threes and 2 for 2 from the line, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, and 6 points because he was getting lots of assists and hardly any turnovers. He was getting lots of points and making an incredible number of threes. So I'm not sure what's happened to his confidence or his opportunities or how things have worked out, but it does look like good chance that him and Killian's minutes are going to get reduced. And when, like I said, when Monty Morris comes back, and I still holding out hope that Monty Williams will play Jaden Ivey because he needs to for our future. And again, he's going to slip. His Ivey's percentages are going to go down. I can almost guarantee it. He is, shooting at a tremendous clip for anybody. And I just everybody wants to see him. Not everybody, but most people want to see him start, including me. So, we shot 43%. They shot 51%. We got 3-point shooting. We played more 3-point shooters, but our percentage was not good because again, Knox was 1 for 4, Stu was 1 for 4, Ausar was 1 for 1, Killian was 0 for 2, Cade was only 2 for 7, and Burks was 2 for 7. So that we shot 26% on threes, 9 for 35, and they shot 9 for 21, 43%. Free throws, we got ripped off on their whistle, I think foul wise, but it didn't kill us that bad. We were 13 for 15 for 87%, and they were 15 for 21 for 71%. So we only got scored by 2 points from the line. So, but somehow we out rebounded them by a lot. But then we lost points in the paint, 44 to 56. They had more points in the paint, and our bench outscored them too. So again, we got to figure out to have our starters start out better. So. And again, we got beat by 8 points on points off turnovers, which is, again, a big bugaboo for our team. But I hope that what I want for you to do for me, I want you to leave in the comments, I want you to leave what you think your starting lineup would be with our team completely healthy, and what you think our lineup should be if with the current players that are available right now. So that's no Duran, no Bogey, no Monty Morris. So put that in the comments. I love our comments. We're getting so many comments, and I blew it again. I didn't tell you about subscribing right off the bat, which I always should. But please subscribe. We're up to over 800. So my goal, I can't wait to get 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe. Be the reason that somebody feels loved and wanted and cared for. And be thankful and grateful even for your bad Piston team that's struggling. And we're going to be playing in Toronto at 3:30 on Sunday, and then we play the world champion Denver Nuggets at home on Monday. So let's go Pistons.